Welcome to Capitalize Your Finances, the podcast that's your ultimate guide to mastering personal finances and unlocking the secrets of entrepreneurship. Each week, we dive into the world of personal finance and business development and have fascinating conversations with industry experts, seasoned entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who share their insights, strategies, and stories to help you get ahead in life. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur looking to scale your business or someone just starting out on your financial path, this podcast is your go-to resource for inspiration and actionable insights.
The time has come for us to finally get into the long-awaited net worth calculator that me and my team have been working on for months. And what we're going to do today on this recording, and this is actually taking me back a little bit, because those of you that have been listening for years, you know I have not had the podcast studio at our headquarters for years. I started this podcast out of my closet, our old bedroom, which is now completely demolished since we remodeled our house. But now being back in our new home office, sharing my screen, going through this calculator, it takes me back to my roots. So it's a quick little tangent. What we're going to do today, and by we, I mean myself, and then my director of marketing, Chris Olstad, behind the scenes, he is going to be guiding you through this net worth calculator as I instruct him on how we are going to use it. Now, before we do all of that, I first want to mention why we created this in the first place. So a lot of net worth calculators out there, because there are net worth tools online and they're free, but they're completely garbage. And the reason why they're garbage is they're clunky, they're outdated. You can only input things once at a time. And then if you're trying to compare anything, there's really no comparative tool unless you want to save, you want to go and print everything out, you need to cut and paste from different websites, and it's super clunky. So this is the first ever interactive net worth calculator online where you can not only input your net worth, but then we're going to show you later in this demo how you can tweak and play with projections to not only see what you need to do to gain the greatest net worth possible, but you're also going to remove a lot of behavioral finance issues that you may not even know that you have when it comes to money. So with that, I first want to say when you get onto this app and you're going to go on to capitalizepodcast.com, you are going to click the magic link, and the magic link, and Olstad, if you can pull up that page just so our viewers can see it. What's going to happen is you're going to get this magic link. You'll put in your email. You'll send that magic link. You'll click it open in your email, and then you'll be into the site. And the reason that we do that is people then can't access your information. Okay. Now, we're obviously not going to go through that process because it's incredibly anticlimactic. But I just wanted you to know that's where it starts. So go back to the net worth calculator. Now, before we start typing in anything, one thing that I thought would be really valuable is giving you free pieces of advice every single day that get you out of your behavioral issues. And again, just to remind you all that have been listening for a long time, behavioral finance is not only the conscious, it's also the subconscious issues that you have regarding money. And my goal for you is to completely conquer those. And so that highlighted daily financial insight, it will be giving you new tips and in pieces of financial guidance every single time you log on. It's always going to be something new. Okay, so hundreds of options. Now, I want you to scroll down, Chris, because we're going to start inputting tools and inputting points into your net worth calculator. So on the asset side, he's not going to click this, but if you wanted to get just a bare bones idea of what some sample assets would be to get started, you click that button and it's automatically going to populate some easy ones. But we're going to do this the old fashioned way. So Chris, what I want you to do in the asset name, I first want you to write down checking account. And I want you to put in $1,000. And you're going to add that. And then you're going to add savings account and you're going to put in $10,000. And why he's doing this, and the reason why I'm having Olstad do this, is I want you to understand how interactive this is and how quick this is. and really give you an idea of what this is going to look like for an everyday situation. So we're going to keep going with a couple more assets. We're not going to get crazy with it, although you could. Put in 401k, and let's say that this person has $50,000 in their 401k. Let's say we're going to add a Roth IRA, and let's say this Roth IRA has $30,000. We're going to add that, and then we're going to have a home. So we're just going to put home. And let's say the home value is worth $500,000. We're going to add that. And that's a nice little layout for assets. Let's not make it more complex than it needs to be. Now, as Chris scrolls down to the liabilities, very similar to the assets, if you don't know what to have, you scroll over the create some sample liabilities, and when you click that, it's going to auto-populate. But we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. So with the liability name, we're going to first start with credit card debt, that pesky credit card debt, and we're going to put an interest rate of 18.99%. Something brutal. And we're going to say that this made up person has $25,000 in credit card debt. So we're going to add that. And really quick, before we keep adding liability names, if you look at the credit card debt line item, that 18.99% interest rate is in red. And the reason why we color code certain debts is behavioral finance 101. A lot of people think that debt is bad. That is not true. There are such things as good debt. I talk about this in my book ad nauseum. And so at the bottom, I gave you an interest rate guide on what is good, moderate, or high interest, or considered bad, because red is bad, very aggressive. And so for you, once you start to eliminate the red and even black debts, you will have the green ones left, which are considered good. And then you will understand that you can pay those over time and not overpay, so you can capitalize on your money in the long run that much better. So we're going to keep adding some liabilities. Let's say we're going to put a mortgage down. And for the mortgage, let's say the interest is 5.99%. Okay. And this mortgage is at a value of $350,000. We're going to add that. And then we're going to have student loans, because you got to have student loans. And we're going to say the interest rate is 7.50%. And we're going to say that this person has $15,000 left. Add. And you know what? We're not going to put any more debt on this made up person. We're just going to go from there. Make it really easy. But again, what you're going to do is you're going to add all of your information in. And with the debts, you need to know what the interest rates are, because it's going to become incredibly valuable later on in this demo. So now that we have all of the information for this made up person, I want Olstad to go and scroll up to the top of his screen. And before he goes anywhere, he's going to click that Save Current Net Worth button right there. And once you click that, you have that locked in. And so for those of you now that don't even know what net worth is, it's your assets minus your liabilities, and that's whatever's left over. That is your net worth. Now, you go to the Tracking tab at the very top. Currently, there isn't anything here because for the demo today, we are recording this as it's the quote unquote first time. What's going to be really cool is as you continue to use this calculator over time, as your net worth changes, you get to track your net worth over time. And what's really cool about that is now you can calculate what your goals are, and then if you actually are on track according to what you're doing. Now, if you're trying to figure out how can I do better and speed up that goal, or maybe I need to take some steps backwards in order to go forwards, et cetera, that is where we go to the Projection tab. And so Olstad's going to click on the Projection tab. In full disclosure, this is my favorite part of the software. So what this page does is it's going to allow you to project what your net worth is going to look like in the future. On top of that, you are going to be able to save options A, B, C, really however many you want. And then you can compare and contrast what they're going to look like, which will give you the best net worth outcome in the future. So the financial projection tab, right below where it says projection period years, I'm actually going to have Chris Olstad put in 15 years. And the reason why we do that, and this is partially to, help out with compliance not being on my back. And I talk about this a lot in my book. When we're thinking long term, we want to take things out at least 15 years because since 1950, there has never been a 15-year rolling period where a lot of long-term investments, which I'll just leave that very vague at this point, have done around 8%. Again, not guaranteed, but around that. And so when you look at the suggested growth rates, if you don't know what to put on a certain growth rate for your assets, what we did is we put in guide rails and guidelines for you so you could have an understanding of roughly what you're going to earn in the long run. Again, are these guaranteed? No, but it gives you an idea of what you can expect from certain investments given the risk that you're taking. So now we're going to get into the fun stuff. So as far as the assets growth and contributions, if Chris scrolls down, he's going to scroll over to the frequency tab. And instead of annual, we're going to click that button and we're going to go to monthly. Now, really quick, the reason why we did this, some of you think in annual, some of you think in monthly terms. So now you can do whatever you want. Okay. Monthly, most people, that's what they think of. So as far as the checking account return, we're just going to go line by line and start tweaking these. A checking account is not going to earn 5% per year. It's going to earn, let's just say 0.5%. Let's just put that, okay? So 0.05. And for all practical purposes, this person's not going to be contributing to their checking account because with your checking account, money comes in, money comes out, things of that nature. Now, if you are one of those people that puts money into your checking account on a monthly basis and is building it, right off the bat, you're going to quickly learn, oh, I might need to go and shift my money into better assets for my future. So we're going to go to the savings account. And instead of earning 5%, let's say that the savings account is earning 3.5% because the listeners at home have taken my advice. They've opened up an online savings account and they're probably earning around that 3.5%, 4%, depending on where interest rates are. And let's say that this person is contributing $25 a month into their savings account. Why not? And we're going to start going a little bit more rapid fire with the 401k. Let's say that they are going to earn 8% in the long run, and they're putting in $250 a month. Let's say that the Roth IRA is going to earn 7% because they're not as actively managing it, and they're going to put in $25 a month for that. And then as far as the home goes, we're going to say 4%. And actually the reason why is since 1929, the average home growth rate has been around 4%. So let's go with that. And we're not going to put anything into the home. Now we're going to keep going down with the debt payments, and these credit cards are just brutal. So, and we're going to go monthly. Let's say that the credit card debt, this made up person is putting in $300 a month. Let's say that their mortgage, they're contributing $1,750 a month, and their student loans, they're contributing $100 a month. Okay. And so we're going to quickly scroll down and look at the projection results. And so in and of itself, it's going to track what your net worth is over time. Your liabilities are decreasing as well as your assets are increasing in the green. And so you get to see the growth of your net worth every single year, which is pretty cool. So Olstad's going to scroll back up. And when he scrolls back up to the top of his screen, he's going to save current under the projection scenarios. And he's going to call this option 1. Option 1. Again, brilliant marketing on his part for titling that. So now what we're going to do, because the software has saved all of this data in option 1, we're going to go back through and we're actually going to tweak some things. So just for the ease of this demo, we are not going to change any of the interest rate returns, but we are going to change some of the contributions on things. So what we're first going to do is, let's say that this person looks and goes, well, you know what? I want to have some more cash. So instead of contributing $25 a month, I want to contribute $50 a month. And let's say that with a 401k remains the same. And then let's say that they keep the Roth at $25. And actually, no, let's say for the Roth, they're not putting in anything. So they're putting in 0. And for just purposes of this, we're going to take what they were putting in from their savings, which was 25 extra, and the Roth money. So we're going to put all of that in the credit card debt. So instead of the credit card debt being at 300, let's say that that person now is putting in, let's just make it up. Let's just say $400 a month. Okay. So then we're going to scroll back up. We're going to save current, and we're going to go option 2. Save. Now, we're going to go with another option, getting a little crazy here. So this third scenario, this person is not putting in anything to their 401k. So they're not contributing anything to their 401k. We're going to zero that out. And we're also going to, so we're zeroing out all the assets. And for whatever reason, they are just gung-ho about maxing out their mortgage being completely paid off. So they're putting in $3,500 a month to that. And they're not contributing anything to their credit card debt and anything to their student loans. So 0 and 0. So we're going to go up and we're going to save current. Okay. So now what's going to be really cool is Olstad is going to select that bubble in option 1, 2, and 3. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He's going to click the show comparison option, and boom, you get to see different scenarios in real time. And you get to compare what you're going to look like in 15 years based on the options. So again, option 3 was the person that was very gung-ho on contributing all of the money that he or she had to their mortgage. They wanted to be debt-free in the mortgage side of things. Option 2 and option 1 are pretty similar, which is why you don't see a huge difference. We're also talking about millions of dollars. But right off the bat, what you could learn from this scenario is, even though option 3 might be mortgage and quote unquote debt-free sooner, in 15 years, if Olstad scrolls over one of the bubbles in year 15, you can see that you are actually costing yourself a little over $100,000 in 15 years by doing so. Now, for the purpose of the demo, these are all looking pretty close because, again, we want to make this really easy for you to understand. But the point is, with this software, you are going to be able to get out ahead of your emotional disabilities in the world of money, which are holding you back, which will lead to infinitely better outcomes down the road. And it is all in one platform, encoded and trusted through your email. So that does it for today's demo and really today's episode. Obviously, this was a little different. And so for those of you that are new to the podcast, I welcome you into the community. For those of you that have been listening in forever, we really hope you appreciate this calculator. We are going to be building more tools in the coming years, but for now, reap the benefits of this one, track your progress, track your net worth, and I cannot wait to show you what we have coming out in 2026. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll chat soon.
As always, thank you for joining me today. If you have questions about today's episode or any personal finance questions, please reach out to me at Cap and Capitalize on Instagram, Chris at capitalizeyourfinances.com, or via our website, capitalizepodcast.com. If you want more Capitalize Your Finances content, head on over to capitalizepodcast.com and check out our blog, free resources, book, and online course. As always, I'm your host, Chris Frey Panayiotou, Certified Financial Planning Professional, the Cap and Capitalize. And until next time, keep capitalizing.